What's going on, everybody? My name is Steven. You guys are watching the Fallow Airgun channel. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. In case you missed it, on the last video we were going over the Air Venturi Alpha. This is a new compact carbine style PCP 22 caliber air rifle. Now what does all that mean? Well, this is a very lightweight compact design that has come out from Air Venturi here. It is essentially supposed to be a tactical version of an air gun that is suitable for people who may use it for applications like myself. So something I have been going on, I haven't really been interested in purchasing a lot of these platforms here recently on the market. And that is because nothing has really caught my eye. There's been a lot of replicas coming out, things that are just kind of just tweaking one thing and another just a little bit. And it hasn't really satisfied me. So I kind of had my eye on the Air Venturi Alpha for a couple of reasons. One, because of its size, also because of the folding buttstock, but also because it was regulated and it allowed me some room for modifications. For any of you who don't know, on this channel over here, you'll pretty much not see anything. Occasionally, when I first get something, I try to give out some of that preliminary type information where I try to shoot something straight factory so that you get a chance to see what the platform's like whenever you would receive it. But over here, I like to machine a lot of things. I like to change a lot of things. Nothing stays the same. As you can tell with my platform here, some things you may notice. The first thing is I have changed this grip to this Ergo zero angle grip here. It's much more comfortable. It's a little bit fatter in the hand, and of course it has that zero straight angle down, so it's not got that that angle that's more back, and it just doesn't quite fit my hand and for my shooting. Also, you'll notice that I have gotten rid of their moderator. So Air Venturi advertises as having a built-in suppressor, and I noticed when I got this thing that it had this well, thread protector here, and I figured it would come in handy. So I did a little post on explaining that they really just they essentially just glue it on. The barrel itself is threaded, but they use a lot of red thread locker and they sealed it on it. Now I say a lot, I mean they went heavy with it, so to try to avoid you getting it off. And the reason for that being is that this barrel is actually recessed. It's set back just a little bit behind the air cylinder, which means that you can, even if you take their moderator off, you can't use one of your own external moderators like my Huggett Mini Magna here. And I got a giveaway coming out for one of these Huggett airgun moderators coming soon, so be looking out for that video. I got some details coming at you soon. But I really wanted the option of being able to use my own moderators here, because there's nothing really wrong with their moderator, but there are better moderators on the market. Now the issue, again, like I said, because the end of the barrel comes set behind the manometer here, the fill gauge, you're not able to get your own moderator on there. So I had to machine myself an extension on there. Obviously got the shroud, everything fit back on there, and as you can see, we are back in action. Now another thing I want to address is that I did modify this. It has my M.R.A.V technology into it. That is my magnetic repulsion airgun valve. What that is essentially, not essentially, what it is inside of the air gun there is a valve that is struck by a hammer, and it has a pin. And when that pin is struck, it has a seal on the other end of the pin that releases away from the surface, allowing air to travel from the air cylinder up and through the barrel and out to push the projectile. So what I've done is those things are spring loaded. I've gotten rid of the springs. Now this works off of magnetic repulsion. Being, if you've ever played with two magnets and you turn the poles the same way, where they're facing the same direction, then you'll feel that resistance when you press them together. So that just acts as a spring, essentially, well, as a way to repel the valve back to its seated position. So with that being said, magnetic repulsion airgun valve. I have played a little bit with the hammer spring on here. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten into doing it. So another quick bit here is that I have not gotten to do a bunch of testing with this. What you're seeing is me playing around in the shop with it and bring it out here and essentially showing you what I'm doing out onto the range. And what I have for you is I have a target set out at 40 yards today. We do have ourselves topped with a wonderful optic here. This is the War Eagle day and night vision optic here, and essentially it's just a compact Picatinny mount scope, and again it's digital. I know I'm really not huge on the digital optics, but one thing I will point out is that I've had a hard time with some of my compact optics because it's a compact platform here, just weighing at 4 pounds, and I really wanted to keep it short for the pesting and the things that I do with this. I go through the brush a lot, I go through barns a lot out for these farmers, and I do a lot of shooting rats and groundhogs and things. And I won't really be shooting any groundhogs with 22 caliber, but my platforms, when I'm using them in the field, I generally tend to try to aim towards something more compact and lightweight. So we've kept it that way. A lot of valve work, a little bit of spring work. I know a lot of you are going to see some of these velocities and you're going to see the shot curve. I'm going to try to dump you a whole magazine or two here, or 3, and you're going to see the shot curve on this and how it is with the spring, which a lot of you will probably say, too heavy on the spring, to this, to that. I get it, guys. I understand. Again, this is just testing for me as well as for showcasing for you. So I'm going to go ahead and demonetize this video real quick for us. So as I've said, this thing did come with a thread protector, which I knew would come in handy. I have the Huggett Mini Magna. This was sent to us from the guys over at UK. Thank you very much, Huggett, as always, for your wonderful products here. And they have some very excellent machine products here. And with the Mini Magna on there, you can see it keeps the platform mini. I really like it. It's an incredibly light platform. The good thing too about this War Eagle optic is that it is outrageously light. Okay, I mean, I can't imagine it weighs more than you know, a half of a pound, somewhere around there, maybe a little less. It's very, very light. So it keeps the whole package with everything on it probably under 5 pounds or right at 5 pounds, which to me is just ideal. Now, enough talking. 40 yards, I got a target. I'm going to run down there. I'm going to get our camera I'm going to get our camera cut on so that we can get some footage down range. I'm going to get our chronograph going so that you can see what's going on with our velocities down range. As well, I want to talk about the projectiles we're going to be shooting. We're going to start out with a standard Crossman Premier hollow point, 14.3 grains. We are filled up to an even 250 bar. I'll go ahead and just show you that. So 250 bar. I do have a magazine in here that I shot just a couple of these Crossmen out just to make sure I was going to be able to make it on paper down there. So I haven't done a bunch of technical zeroing, so if I'm off shooting at the target, understand this is again just preliminary stuff here. Then we're going to switch over and we're going to shoot some of these JSB Monster Hades. These are 25.39 grains, so that is a whopping pellet for 22. It's actually starting weight for 25 caliber. So chronograph on, camera on, let's get to it. Alright guys, bear with me for just 2 seconds here as I get myself set up here. And apologize for the traffic out there, the noise from the traffic. The highway is rolling because it is 5 o'clock, everybody's getting off work and heading home. So if you hear a bit of fuss from the traffic, I apologize. Soon the range ordeal will be changing, but for now this is what we got. Alright guys, 250 bar fill here. We have the chronograph going. I hope we can plug us a couple of numbers from the chronograph. Actually, I'm gonna attempt to bump this up just a little bit and hopefully not shoot my chronograph, but hopefully capture some numbers here. It can be a little finicky. It's due to snow and get really nasty over the next few days. 250 bar, 3600 psi. Oh yeah, unregulated. I completely forgot to mention that I have taken the regulator entirely out of this gun. So what you're seeing is just the M.R.A.V technology coupled with what the gun's capable of doing. So without further ado, let's go ahead and plug us a couple of groups. And of course I got an error. Let me see. Make sure we're lined up here. I think we're pretty close. I feel like we should be getting something here. Let's try it back a little bit. Maybe just a hair bit more up. Oh, I hope I don't regret that. Alright. That's danger close, but let's see what happens. Sometimes that battery gets a little low, the light gets low, it gets a little difficult with us. 807 feet per second. You will notice the curve. 814. 820. you're gonna have to give me 832. You're gonna have to give me a little bit of a handicap here. This War Eagle is only 4x magnification. 832 again. 874. Not sure what's going on here. Okay, let's get us a bit more going on there. That didn't take us down much of nothing. We went from 250 bar to about 240, 230, somewhere right in that area. So because these are going a bit faster, less back pressure on the valve, we're going to be dumping a little bit more air than we will with our next projectile here. But I'm going to go ahead and load us up again. Crosman Premier hollow point here. And not pellet picky, or not pellet selecty, or whatever you want to call it. We're not shooting for super technical groups right here. We're just shooting to see velocities, to get an idea of groups. Generally when I'm shooting and I'm doing pesting with a platform like this, I'm really keeping it at like 15 yards, 20 yards maximum, which means that whatever group you're seeing down there, which by the way, we're shooting that target down there, that dot is an inch. So if that gives you an idea of what we'll be doing at 15 yards, there's another dual 874, 881, 890, another 890, .903. My shot curve is going up. 911. 906. My contacts are getting funky with me here. 918. 915. Another 915. Oh, that's it. All right. Let me see where we're at with our air here. So we went from 250 bar to about 220 bar, roughly. I'll try to show you. Sometimes I stick this thing in front of the GoPro. It does no good because with the lighting in here, it kind of, you know, but in case you are some genius with the camera, you may be able to see that. You may not. Anyways, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go down there and just take a look. Actually, I think I can see, it looks like we're shooting just a little bit high there, making that group from that first dot at the top. So we'll just roll with that. Actually, you know what we're going to do? I am going to just roll with it, guys. I'm just going to see what happens if we finish out at 915 feet per second and we are still over 200 bars. So actually, what I say we're at 220, 210. Yeah, we're like 220, somewhere right in that area. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to rock and roll with it. I'm going to bump us down to, let's go for that bottom dot. I feel like this is going to make it on paper at the bottom dot. All right, we're going to switch gears here. 915 feet per second on the Crossman Premiers again. Have not got a chance to do any shooting with this and really figure it out, get it tuned in. You're seeing what I'm seeing here, but and again, we like that, you know. We like to see a little experimenting going on. I know YouTube absolutely hates it. And speaking of which, if you want to support this channel, the absolute best way you can do that is by liking it and subscribing to this channel. You know, I'm not in it for the money, but I will say this, okay? I ain't rich. By no means, okay? I'm a humble man over here. I work hard. My wife works hard. You know, that's just the way it goes. This stuff is expensive. If you think it's easy to eat paying $300 for an air gun, you're absolutely wrong. The way I look at it is an investment for, you know, for anything that I can do for potentially making money for pesting or for even shooting my own quarry and eating it. So, you know, whenever it's, you know, squirrel hunting or rabbit hunting or anything of the sort, I like to use these air guns to for my own living, you know, to be able to actually eat, because my freezer is full of all kinds of game animal. Alright, so here we go. We're going to rock and roll with it. 915 on the end there. Switching over to a really heavy projectile. I hope that made it on there. 748 feet per second. 764. 773. 780. Getting a little climb here. A little more back pressure on the valve. 778. Ooh, come on now. Sometimes this magazine, I'm not sure if it's me and I'm not charging it quite back all the way, but I've noticed it gets a little skippy. 772. 770. See, just like that. It's like, I'm not sure what's happening there. 766. Now, I bet you if I rotate this thing, see, I have two pellets that just skipped over in here. I haven't quite figured out what's the deal with that, but 760. And see, I have to rotate this thing now until I figure out. I kind of like that this has this kind of like click lock technology in it, so when you rotate it, it stays right where you want to for that pellet. 752. All right, it's really starting to dump some air. I can hear it, and it has. So we went from 250 bar, okay, at the beginning, shooting that first magazine, and then shooting it again consistently back to back there, and now we are at about 100 and I'd say it's about 160 bar, somewhere in that area. So from 220 to about 160. Yeah, that's pretty good use of air. Dumping a lot there, but not to worry. Here's what I'm gonna do. I say, let's do this. Kill this camera here. Take out this magazine. Figure out what's going on with this. Rotate it back to the beginning. Alright, I am going to top us back off. Go check my target and see where I'm hitting at down there. And I'm going to, just for the fun of it, set us up a couple cans of soup out there at 40 yards and shoot them. It should be absolutely no problem. We won't even need this rest here with that being the case. But I'm going to go look, see what group looked best, and then we'll decide what we're going to shoot out there. And we can get to doing some more nerding out on numbers and velocities and things. I'm losing a lot of light right now. I'm worried this chronograph is not going to be picking up soon. But I'm going to go ahead and get some fun targets set up real quick, and let's shoot some cool stuff. Alright guys, so pretty interesting stuff actually. I didn't realize that. It looks like in the midst of just shooting away, I guess we shot 3 magazines, unless I'm wrong. These are 1-inch targets out at 40 yards. This is just to show you here. And that was our first bit there with the Crossman Premier hollow points. You could see the climb and velocity, so we probably started here, I'd imagine, and worked our way up. But what a pretty impressive group there for 4x magnification on a digital day and night vision scope there. That's a 1-inch target, and we're going to go with that. We're going to shoot these big old fat, slower moving JSB, or not JSB, JSB makes these, right? Yeah, JSB Hades here. 25.39 grains. It's just it's as pretty much large as it gets as far as a pellet goes for a 22 caliber projectile. So I always like that. You know, that means that if I have, and you know, too, I would like to say that generally when I shoot these projectiles out of just about any platform, they kind of suck. They don't seem to want to fly right. These in the FX 25.4s, they just really seem to have a hard time out of 22 caliber platforms. But I guess we're cooking enough sauce on these things here that I guess we're able to shoot them. You know, we don't need any of this fancy Caldwell precision turret here because we're just going to stand up and shoot this stuff. We're going to have a little bit of fun here. I have us a few cans of soup out there. I can't remember. I think it's like 8 cans or something. Gives me like 2 shots in case I mess up, but I'm going to get a little magnification here. And wasn't really as exciting as I thought it was going to be, that's for sure. I'm going to cheat, not going to lie. I'm going to just at least rest down a little bit. Maybe perhaps my focus is a little off here. Let me see. Okay. Oh my goodness, I can't tell if that missed or if I hit low or what. Sounds like we're hitting the wood. That one flew far to the right. I am quite curious as to what's going on now. I'm not sure what's happening here. I'm not gonna lie to you, I have absolutely no idea where this is shooting at now. It's like I aired it back up and then all of a sudden things are getting all wompy on me. Okay, for whatever reason now we're shooting really far to the right here. So I have done something. Perhaps it was having it in the Caldwell turret here. Oh, hey, I'm also noticing that I'm not sure what's going on with this rotating and probing half of these things, but they're really bending the skirts bad on this, so perhaps I'm not charging it back all the way like it should, but I'm not sure. I mean, I'm literally aiming at the can to the left of that and hitting that can, so that is not a good sign. We'll compensate. Getting a little pop on them. Uh-oh. I think I'm just loading hopes and dreams now. Why not? Just go ahead and load a few more up while we're at it. And I'm gonna get a barrel brace on this, on the end of this thing, to really make sure that nothing's moving around. It's a carbine, so I'm not worried about barrel float and all that technicality and trying to shoot 300 yards with this gun or nothing. So a barrel band for me is gonna be an ideal thing. It's going to help take out some of that wiggle room in case it gets bumped around or anything, and it's for some reason it's throwing off the shot here, which I'm not quite sure why it is that I took it out of the vise and it went shooting so far over, unless it's because it was squeezing. I guess that would actually kind of make sense. It was squeezing real tight on here and probably flexing this one way or another, but that's an awful lot of flex. You know, you don't want to trying to be shooting anything that's come on, what is going on here? These magazines sometimes make me wonder about them. You don't want to be shooting into something like this, zeroing, thinking that you're going to go out into the field and go shoot straight. Generally, when I try to zero to go out into the field, I'm shooting like this here. So oh, I missed that one. I have. See, there it goes again, getting skipping on me. I may not be charging it back far enough. Got a little jump out of that can. Oh yeah, got a little jump out of that one too. I am so curious. I'm going to try to take a shot at that little mark on the Bobcat's head and see where I'm at. Oh, wow. We are like 4 inches to the right and dropped quite a bit. Yeah, that shot was right on top of the other one. So we're like, good God, we're like 4 inches off to the left and up by like 3 inches. So I have absolutely no idea what happened there. But again, you all get to see firsthand what I get to see, and that's what I think is kind of cool. Just to toy around. So that is something to be aware of. I'm gonna brace the end of this barrel really good and find out what's going on with that. You know, I really like to say I think this platform is a fair platform at the price point. At $300, just at $300, just under. There's some things I don't like about some of these newer platforms where they're built where there's way too much flex in the parts. Way too much movement, and it just doesn't work for me. Like I said, I'm a in the field type person, so if I'm out and I'm going about and I find out that I'm shooting 3 or 4 inches off, you know, to the left and up, I mean, that's outrageous. That's not going to work for me. But this is another story to tell here. If you can get groups like this out of your platform, you can take it out of the rest. You can get those groups without it into rest. So anyways, there you have it, guys. Just bringing you a little bit of content here, a little bit of fun. I'm having some fun out here. I hope you enjoyed seeing this video. Hey, do me a favor, guys. Like I said, my videos, they don't get monetized, they don't get reached. The best way you can help this channel is by liking and subscribing, guys. You guys got any comments, any questions, anything, leave them down below. And I like to, converse with my crew out there and see what you guys are saying and what kind of questions you got. And I like to get back to you as best I can. My ears are starting to get cold. It's supposed to be like 17 degrees and 8 degrees for a night, a negative 10-degree wind chill and like 8 degrees at night tonight. So it's going to be really cold. I'm starting to feel it. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up, guys. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Holy moly, I apologize. I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, guys, do me a favor. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. Subscribe if you want to see more from it, guys. And as always, I will see you on the next one.